Now in Eyewitness News, a ninth night of marching for justice in Charlotte. Chopper 9 Sky Zoom is live over Uptown right now as protesters there remain peaceful tonight.
Teenagers dressed in suits joining this evening's march, their inspiring goal from this unique display.
Lord God, we're so glad today. Oh God, that things are going to change.
A message of hope at George Floyd's memorial service in North Carolina, the way strangers honored his life today in our state. Eyewitness News live at 10 starts right now.
Taking a live look over Uptown with Chopper 9 Sky Zoom, hundreds making their message heard once again. This is the ninth night of protests in Charlotte. The last two nights have been textbook in terms of making their message heard, staying safe. All night, we've watched this group peacefully march through Uptown and demand racial equality and police reform after the death of George Floyd. Good evening, I'm Phil Orban.
And I'm Genevieve Curtis. Those protests started at about 6 this evening, and Channel 9's Deshaun Brown has followed them every step of the way. Deshaun, what's been their message tonight?
Genevieve, really nothing about the core message has changed. This is still a march very much about racial injustice and equality, also addressing some of those systemic issues that people have been dealing with for years. And as you can see, the crowd has actually just stopped here in front of the Mecklenburg County Jail. They've been marching since about 6 o'clock today. Several different groups have now formed into the night. But I do want you to take a look at some of the newer faces that have emerged over the last few hours.
Well, I feel this is a wake-up call, honestly.
Leading the way were some of Charlotte's youngest voices and young men of color. Their recent high school graduates raising their voices for families including George Floyd or Trayvon Martin.
I'm a young black king, not a young black statistic, so there's more than just the color of my skin, the pigment of my skin.
Along the way, support for their cause only magnified by a growing crowd. One woman joined area protests Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and again tonight.
Because we can't stop talking about it, and things sort of help and then they go back to what they were, back to normal, and we can't stop talking about it because it can't go back to normal. It needs to change.
Tonight's leaders also attacking negative perceptions on what it means to be a black man.
We felt it was important for us to come out in suits because, kind of like he was saying about the image that is oftentimes portrayed to African American males, especially also females, how we're thugs or they think that we're not as good as we really are.
And when you change people's mindsets, you can start seeing a change in the system, and it starts with people's mindsets.
And back here live, as you can see, they are now addressing the crowd in front of the Mecklenburg County Jail. Several other protesters here tell me that they have marched for day after day after day, like the young lady we showed you in that story. And I asked why they felt it was important to continue to come out, and so many people said, we've been here before. They do not plan to end these protests until they really feel that the message is resonating. Phil, Genevieve.
All right, Deshaun, thank you. We want to take you live to the view from Chopper 9 Sky Zoom as we keep an eye out on these protests. We're going to keep you updated. Just hundreds of people in Uptown again on this Saturday night.
And that's just one of many peaceful protests that happened across our area today. Police in Mooresville helped lead protesters as they marched.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
You can see the officers there with protesters as they march down Main Street and back to Town Hall. There are also speakers and a prayer vigil. Then in Hickory, hundreds came together to raise awareness for social inequality. These photos are from our partners at the Hickory Daily Record. You can see protesters kneeling in unity with their signs. Protesters were also in Concord. One of our producers, Mike Stolp, shot this video showing the march. It was organized by Concord Civil Activists, a group that was just created on Tuesday. Concord Police Chief Gary Gasick marched along with them, along with other officers.